Alright, so the purpose of this tutorial is to just really get you using this right out of the box and to let you know if this is going to be something that you're going to want to purchase in the first place or not. So let's start with the basics of this thing. Each one of these comes with 10 kits. Each kit comes with 6 parts. Each part, of course, is going to have up to 2 layers, and how you're going to toggle between that is you're going to use your function button, and you're going to hit this layer button, and you could edit the layers. You could either edit them both at the same time. You could edit layer 1 or layer 2 separately, and this is where you're going to view all the parameter changes in this view window. Really nice, a little bit more upgraded than the rest of the other Volcas. Alright, so let's get started. So like I said, each one of these comes with 10 patterns. This is what your first pattern would sound like. If you're one to just kind of use preloaded stuff, you could toggle between which pattern you wanted to use by simply hitting function and load pattern, and then it kind of waits for you to select. Right? And you could do a lot with that in itself. You could just change the tempos of these if you wanted to kind of differentiate it and not just use something right out of the box. Change the swing pattern. So there's a lot of different ways to just kind of even use the preloaded patterns and kind of get something grooving depending on what your use for this is. I'm not sure what people are tending to use this for. Personally, me, I like to make a lot of noise loops or make kind of just weird percussive sounds that I load into a DAW. But if you wanted to use this as something kind of like to build patterns or whatever, of course, and just do that real easy, that is a quick, easy way to do that. But let's say you want to make your own patterns, right? So let's go back to the first. Take the swing off. Let's say you don't want any of that. You're gonna hit function, clear all, right? Real easy way to record. You could free record by simply pressing the record button, aka the save button, and once these are both on, you could easily record. Really simple. Another way you could do recording is by step recording, in which you would select a step that you want. Right now I accidentally hit this kind of hi-hat, but let's say I just want to get rid of that. I can hit edit step, and here it is right here. It's gone. So let's say I wanted to just fill this out with kicks. Whichever part you're going to want to step edit, select it. So I could do either one of those, and you can see it's going to let you know where it's at. So let's go back to the kick. I can fill this all the way up with kicks. Right? So whichever way you want to do it. If you're a person that likes to freehand it in there, record. If you're a person that likes to kind of make it quantize, make sure it's definitely on time, step edit right away. And you could, of course, add other steps in here. Alright, nothing fancy, just showing you how to do it. Alright, so let's get rid of all that. Okay, so what's really cool about this personally to me is all of the weird things that you could do with each part and really make some really unique sounds. So to not waste any time, I'm not gonna show you a jam or anything. I'm just gonna take one part and just kind of show you the different things you could do to that one part and just give you a general idea of the different parameters and what they do. Alright, so let's start with that kick. I'll start right here in this corner. You can edit the pitch. And what I find really cool about that is you could actually record that pitch edit, much like you could do in the other Volcas, like the Korg Volca bass I got over here. You can record the pitch changes, so let's do that. Right? And you could do that with quite a few of these things. You could do it with the send amount too. So let's say Whoops, I didn't record it. So let's say though that you don't want those parts recorded in it, but you still wanted to keep the kicks. I wouldn't imagine that you just wanted all those kicks, but let's say you had something in there that you wanted to keep, but you wanted to get rid of those parts itself. You wouldn't hit clear all because it's going to get rid of your pattern. So you'd want to clear the motions. So that's how you would get rid of that. That got rid of the pitch modulations I do with my hand, and as well as the send too. So you could get those back by hitting function, clear all, the same way you, let's say you wanted to clear your pattern, whoops, accidentally got rid of that, bam, function, all, you can get that back. Real simple, real easy. All right, so you could also have a simple attack and release functions for this. Make it real tight where you could be like, bam, right? And if you don't know what attack and release are when it comes to synth, attack is the time it's going to take to get to maximum volume, and release is going to be the time that it takes to totally fade away. So usually you would have an ADSR situation, but attack release does good enough. All right, so other than that, we've got this parameter knob here, and what this is going to do, if it's not in step edit, if it's in step edit, what it's going to do is let you change the different how can I put this, effects. So the effects you're gonna have fold, drive, pan, gain, and then there's a bit reduction here. You have to make sure you're not on step edit. We'll go over that in a second. This changes different permutations of the sound source. It's kind of weird because I don't feel like you could just select this one, this one, this one. You kind of change it and it does it all on its own. Like I said, you can get a lot of really weird sounds with that. And that's just on that layer. Let's say if I wanted to do it for so again, that is the parameter knob without the step edit. Step edit, it's going to change into these, and how you would use these or edit this is the value. The value knob changes when the step edit is on. If not, it's just going to be the level. And each one of these could be edited with the level. So you can kind of set your own mix. Like if you don't want this to be super loud and you want something else to be really loud, you could set your own kind of mix within this. But of course, with these, bam, let's say I want to add some bit reduction to this. You have to make sure your step edit is on. Oh, whoops, I got it on a different part. So like I said, you could make some really kind of weird sounds with this. Okay, so we got over that. We got the pitch. You could record the pitch. You could record the send. All right. These I'm not quite sure if you could actually record. I'll let that be up to you. Of course, you got the parameter knob. Like I said, if it's not on step edit, what you're going to be editing here is permutations of the sound. Right? And then if it's on step edit, it's going to be going through these functions of the effects, which are going to be bit, fold, drive, pan, and gain. And by fold, they mean the wave folder amount. Okay. And then if that's not on, right, it's just the level, how loud it is. All right, and for the sake of saving time, what I did was just make a little basic pattern here with a little freaked out kick. And what we're gonna do here is I'm just gonna show you the step jump feature, the slice feature, and then I'm going to go over a little bit of the Waveguide resonator here. And what I'm going to do with the Waveguide resonator is much like I did with the pitch, attack, decay, release, and the parameters over here, is I'm just going to pick apart and kind of give you an idea of what it does. There is a ridiculous amount of sounds you can make with it. So for me to kind of just pick one, I'm going to be doing jams. You could look up jams. It makes a lot of sounds, but I'm just going to give you a general idea. So here's my little pattern I made. Right, nothing fancy. All right, so for the step jump feature, right, you would select step jump. I don't really know how to describe this, so I can only show you. So basically, I guess it jumps between steps, but I could do that just like it's. Right? And so right now I only have those 3 in there. If you had all of them, I imagine you could hold all of them down. So that gets really fun and creative. You can record that too. Maybe you can't, just kidding. Anyways, you could do that for live playing as well. So there you have that. So let's go to the slice. Let's do something with this. All right, so what you're gonna wanna do is select function, and you can step edit and have slice. You're going to want to hold where the step is that you want to edit. So I want to edit right about here, I believe. See? So I like that little 2-step there, but you could go up to 16. But I like the little triple there. And you could do that wherever a step is. So that's kind of nifty. A lot of different ways you can get kind of unique things between the step jump and then the slice feature. Alright, so let us go over the Waveguide resonator. So what I've realized about that is that it's almost like a strange kind of delay at lower points, but not. It's really kind of hard to describe, so I'm going to show you. So let's go and get rid of the kicks. We're going to pick something like a... Let's go with this right here. So what we're going to do, let's get rid of those. Let's fill this all the way out, just to give you an idea of what this does. You got your tune knob, which I guess is kind of a tune knob, but like I said, once you get down this way, it almost is like a strange delay. Then you have your body knob. So you have 2 options for that. You could do the tube or the string. Right now, I believe it is on the string right here. So what I mean by that, you could do a lot of weird things for that. That's kind of harder to explain. I'm just kind of giving you a general idea of the kind of things you could do with that. Let's change it back. So that's the tube, yeah, because of course the straight line is going to be straight. Only way I could really describe that is kind of a strange, besides this resonating option here, is kind of like a strange delay. A lot of weird things you could do with that. I personally like to, of course, record it and do weird stuff like that. So, we know how to load patterns. We know that each pattern comes with 6 parts. We know that each part has up to 2 layers. I've showed you the slice function, step edit function, the parameter function, which of course if you're in step edit is going to give you those effects that we went over, which is going to be bit, fold, drive, pan, and gain. If not, oh, and then of course how you're going to edit those is with the levels here. If that not, then the level is going to be volume itself. Parameter itself, when it's on edit, is going to go through these permutations of sound. Here we have the modulation amount. That's more, again, sounds that you could add to this. It's really like a sound design machine, I feel like, than a drum machine. I mean, the fact that it's got the 16-step sequencer makes it a drum machine and it comes with the 6 parts. But how I see it as in a world of possibilities is really kind of like a strange sound design machine. Where you could do just weird like loops and everything like that. So let's get to it. Is it worth it? Personally, to me, absolutely yes. I've hooked effects up to this. I've seen people hook loopers up to this. So you could kind of get your own basic drum pattern and then, of course, add more weird sounds on top of that. I feel like if you built a lot of things just simply around this, you could, there's just a world of possibilities in this thing, especially for the price. I think I paid like $165 or something for this. Definitely worth it. Definitely have a lot of fun with it. Again, just made some basic patterns just to kind of show you all kicks, just to kind of show you the sounds of it. But you could definitely do quite a bit with the slice and step edit and swing and everything else like that, and make some really cool drum patterns. So definitely worth it. I'll be doing some jams throughout here, so just like actual patterns, hooking it up to pedals, connecting it also to boutique synths that we have here, showing you how to do that. So if you want to see that, kind of stay tuned. And if there's anything else you want to know about this, leave it in the comment section. I can maybe go over it again. And we will see you next time on another episode of Submarine Media. Thanks for watching.